Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all-new Talkin Movies. As always, I am your host, the real Geno Reynolds, and today we're going to be talking about the long-awaited return to Haddonfield, Illinois. That's right, we're going to be talking about Halloween 2018. And this is the return of Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode to the franchise, and I will warn you, there might be some minor spoilers in this review, but as always, I'll give you plenty of warning. It's been 40 years since Michael Myers killed 5 people after escaping the mental hospital. For 40 years, Michael has waited patiently to finish what he started. Also for 40 years, Laurie Strode has prepared to stop him once and for all. Now, most of you know this by now, but this Halloween is now the one true sequel to the original 1978 film. That's right, that means all sorts of things in the series are now gone. Michael and Laurie are no longer siblings. Laurie Strode is still alive. Again, Paul Rudd is no longer the adult version of Tommy Doyle. The 2 Rob Zombie versions are no more. There's no more Happy Happy Halloween, 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 Happy Happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Ben Tramer is still alive. Maybe. That one's for you, Brad. And last but certainly most important, no more Busta Rhymes. For those not wanting any real spoilers for this movie, just know that if you really like the first movie, you're probably going to like this one too. It definitely feels more like a real sequel to the original movie than any of the others did. Again, while I won't try to spoil too much, I've given my fair warning anyhow. Are you still with me? Okay, here we go. Let me get what I didn't like about this movie out of the way first. And while I didn't mind it too much, I felt that sometimes this movie was a bit too funny at the wrong times. At times the humor really worked, but there were other times I would have rather the movie stay a bit more serious. That being said, when they were trying to be funny, most of the time the humor did land. And you can definitely tell that Danny McBride had some involvement in this script. I will also say that there was a point that I thought the movie was going to wuss out on the violence. While Michael had killed some people up to this point, there was a scene involving one of Allison's friends, Allison being Laurie Strode's granddaughter. I thought that the movie was going to shy away from killing teenagers, or at least not show it in detail, but then nope. I thought this girl was going to get away, but Michael had other plans. That's one thing that I'm glad this movie did. It felt like the first movie because it had the balls to be a real slasher movie like the original. I thought that Jamie Lee Curtis did a really good job returning to the character of Laurie Strode. The best way I can describe her character's motivations in this one is that she is one part agoraphobe and another part Sarah Effin Connor. And I'm not kidding. You can see that there was a lot of inspiration, we'll just say borrowed, from Linda Hamilton's T2 version of the once timid character. This is not a complaint, by the way, because I love badass Linda Hamilton and I loved badass Jamie Lee Curtis. For better or worse, one thing this movie did was not make a lot of the characters any more smarter than they were 40 years ago, or at least characters in general. A lot of the characters still did a lot of the same stupid horror tropes in this movie, you know, the don't go in there types of moments. At least it still fit the theme of the original in this way, again, for better or worse. Also, I know I said earlier that Silver Shamrock was no longer a part of this new redo universe, but damn it, I loved seeing some of the kiddos in this wearing Silver Shamrock masks. Oh, and sorry, Brad. At least from what I could tell, there was no mention of Ben Tramer. Maybe. You see, get this. The movie mentioned that Laurie Strode had been married 2 times. I'd like to think that one of them was to Ben Tramer, who was only mentioned in the first movie and killed in the second one because he just had to dress up as Michael Myers. Also, we don't really learn which husband is the father to Laurie's daughter, played by Judy Greer, which could have also been Ben Tramer. I sent out a tweet to different people involved in this movie, trying to get answers. And as of this recording, I haven't heard anything back. I seriously doubt I will, but hey, that would be kind of cool if I did. There are two parts to my last thing about this movie, and that I liked, and that is the two actors that played Michael Myers. While Myers is in a lot of this movie, it takes a while for him to get his mask back to be the Michael Myers that everyone knows. I thought it was really cool, and it added a ton of character for the original 1978 Michael, Nick Castle, to play Michael until he finally got his mask back. Now, it's not the Michael you see when they pull the mask off in the original movie. That was another actor, but it's the actor that played Michael the entire time in the first movie, other than when the mask gets pulled off. While they didn't totally show his face, the little they did made him scary as hell. He even had the dead eye, and you got to see it for a little bit. There are scenes where we get to see an unmasked Michael go on a tear, and those scenes really work well. Then when the character finally does get his mask back, James Jude Courtney took over, and I thought he did a great job at keeping the terror and brutality of The Shape that started with Castle's performance going until the very end of the movie. So guess what I'm saying is, together they made one hell of a Michael Myers. And another note about Michael Myers, I'm glad that the whole supernatural type element of it is over. He's just back to being this just evil and sick man, and I think it worked really well in the first one, and now it continues in this one. Again, if you love the first movie, you're probably going to like this one too. This one, in my opinion, is by far the best movie in the franchise after the original. It takes the story of the original movie and gives us a very interesting take on what could have happened 40 years later. It sticks to its roots of being a slasher movie, has a couple of decent twists and turns here and there, and keeps the clash of good versus evil, in this case, Laurie versus Michael, compelling until the very end of the movie. That's going to be all for this edition of Talkin Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Geno YouTube channel, like this video, and if you have anything to say about this movie, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Until next time, I'm your host, the Real Geno, Geno Reynolds. Trick or treat.